All right, another episode of Conversate After Dark. Tay, what's up with you?
Everything's great with me. What's going on with you?
It's all good. It's all good. Tell people where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversates After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD, the podcast at gmail.com.
That's right. Send us a question, leave a comment. Make sure to let everybody know about the show. Go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. So, Tay, let's start off with the icebreaker.
I'm gonna go with tonight's conversation. Go to 69.
Okay.
Okay. How would you feel about being tied up?
Not no. Nah, I'm good. I'm good, G. I'm good. I'm good
That's
on
a quick answer.
I mean, with everything, I think I've said it in the past. It would take a hell of a woman for me to agree to that. Just because, like, I had to trust you implicitly, and like people that I've been with in the past, they got a tendency to play too much. And because they play too much, like, I figured they'd be like, all right, you be like, hey man, untie me. And then they like leave, saying, try to scare you or you just don't have no control. And nah, I think I'm tie up one hand and then I'll sit on the other. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know if I could just 100% give up control like that. What about you?
Control I can give up, but it depends on the person. Yeah. On one hand, I say no, but um, it depends on the person. I could do it for the right person.
You can do it for the right person?
Yeah, yeah. And there's only been two people that I've trusted enough where I was thinking in my head, if this happened, I could go along with it.
Is it something that you like? Is it something that's something that's like on your list to do? Or is it something that you like, yeah, like you said, like I'll do it if they ask. But is it something that you even like have a desire to do?
It's not a big deal for me. It's one of those things. If it's something that my partner would want, depending on the person, again, then I would do it.
Yeah,
I
nah.
have trust issues, so
Really?
I mean,
I mean, clearly I do too. You know what I mean? So that's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? Some people they may be good for it. But I think you just like I said, you really have to be comfortable with a person and like trust them. Because that's a lot of vulnerability there.
hmm
There's a whole lot of vulnerability.
yeah.
And I think there's a couple of things that I would like be more inclined to try if I felt like I could be 100% vulnerable with that person. If I'm being honest, I just haven't found somebody who I've trust that much. I've been with people who I trust, and we've done a lot of things, but a couple things like that don't really do much for me. Like being tied up or what have you. I guess because like I'm a man's man, and I'm just like I guess I'm more a dominant when I'm in the bedroom. But
hmm
there's other things that I would like be willing to try, but I'm gonna say, yeah, nah, bruh. If I felt like I could be 100% vulnerable, because I think one thing with men, I think we have to contend with this more than you all do. And you correct me if you think I'm wrong. We have to worry about maybe not at this grown age, but when we were younger, like shit being weaponized against us, you know?
Okay.
Because there may be a guy who's like, he likes to get his prostate massage, right? And women always say, "Hey, it doesn't make you gay if a woman does it or what have you." But how many times have we seen a girl say, "Well, that's why you like your booty played with or what have you"? Now he ain't do that with no man. He did that with his girl. But then she weaponized it, knowing that a lot of people feel like that's kind of homo adjacent. And I don't say I'm not trying to be homophobic when I say that, but it's kind of gay adjacent. So I feel like we as dudes have to be careful sometimes not to, do too much because it could be weaponized against us.
Now, is that a thing of the small majority speaking louder than the actual majority in terms of people weaponizing those types of things?
I'm not sure who's the small majority you talk about. I'm not
The
following.
small majority is the people who are saying, that's why I was able to do this to you.
Yeah, but the fact that it's a possibility that it could happen means that it's real. You're right.
Okay.
It's a small majority, right? But the fact, because you may not even have to be public with it, right? But it's like it's like this post I saw on Instagram where dude was like, yeah, I busted in three pumps. I know they was killing me in the group chat. So it might even be a thing where like she necessarily says it, but she may share it with one or two, and they may violate. And your name, you might get that BDR. You know what I'm saying? Just because or whatever. She done leaked it to a couple people, and they're not keeping it tight.
I don't know if a lot of people talk about their main person like that. I think the BDRs come from the people who are just the flings. I
Really?
think those are the people that get put in the group chat.
Okay. I don't know, man, but I don't want to be flamed like that. Like I got a reputation to maintain out in these streets. So, because you just like something bad happens, because people talk. People talk. Like, okay, for instance, so I got a cousin, and her and I are tight,
Mhm.
each other for years. And over the recent years, we've become like more comfortable with talking about, sex with one another, sex with other people. Cause it used to be back in the day, like, look, I don't want to hear about what you do with dudes or what have you. But I realized like they privy to my BS and the shit that I be doing, right? So, I'll listen. Well, and for everybody who's listening, she gave me permission to talk about this on the show. She actually wanted me to talk about it. So she's been with this guy and they're friends with benefits, right? They're actually friends and they've been kicking it for a minute. Now, we're all around the same age. They're probably a little bit older than us. Tay and I are around the same age, but they're a little bit, a few years older than us. And it's like one of the understandings that like he needs enhancements. He's got to take a pill or two to get it going. What she doesn't have a problem with because like, once he's there, it's good, right? So there's no issue with that. Well, she said that the last time that they were intimate, uh, she thought that he was about to come, right? And she was prepared to receive, the come, and he started peeing. And he peed all over her. He peed all over the bed, the floor, everywhere. So they were in the throes of passion, and she thought he was about to bust. He thought he was about to bust, and instead of ejaculating, he urinated. And
Wow.
she said she was shocked because it got everywhere. It was funny to her, but it wasn't a situation where it was like, nah, motherfucker, like get out. Like, I don't want nothing to do with you no more. Like, it wasn't a deal breaker. She was just like, it happened. You know what I'm saying? It's funny.
Mhm.
Let's move past it. I still want to kick it with you. I like you. We good. But since the situation happened, he's felt some type of way. Like he's like embarrassed and he hasn't been wanting to do it with her anymore. And she's just like, well, I don't know what else to do. Like I told you, like, yeah, like I was mad about having to clean up or what have you, but it's not to the situation where I don't want to be with you or where I don't want to kick it with you like we've been kicking it. So what would you do if that was you? And then number two, how should she handle it? Because like she said, like it's good when it's good. So we'll start with the first question. How would you handle it if it was you?
If it was truly an accident, I could move
It was an
on.
accident. It was an accident. It should have
Okay.
been an accident because it surprised both of
Okay. If you say so. No, I'm joking. Okay. Um, with it being an accident, I could get over it. He would have to help me clean up though.
them.
Or pay for cleaners to come in, something. As I'm
Gotcha.
not, I don't have no children. I'm not cleaning up, but I do take care of my grandmother. But that's a different story. I gotta do that. I'm not cleaning up after no another grown person that I'm not related to in some kind of way. So
Yeah, right. Exactly.
yeah. So yeah, I could get over it as long as he put in on the cleaning up.
So it happened and he's starting to act funny. Would you how you fix it? Or do you even try to fix it if he's acting funny?
I mean, there's only so much you can do if the person is going through things internally. I mean, you said your cousin told him it was fine, but he's still feeling some type of way. That's on him. I might inquire a few times, reiterate that it's not a big deal. We still cool, but after a little while, I mean, I might have to move on.
I understand I don't understand where he's coming from because I've never done that. But and first of all, like, when she hit me up about it, I never heard a situation like that happening. You,
Not from a guy, no.
I guess women do squirt, so I guess
Yeah.
maybe. So the women, okay,
It's still a a discrepancy on what that actually is. So
okay. So personal, you ever squirted?
I made myself. It's been the only time I've for years I was trying. After I was trying, it's only happened that one time.
Damn, only once? You couldn't repeat? I
Nope.
understand. I get it. Um, because because since you sharing, like, I'm a dribble down the court guy and not a long range shooter, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it.
Sometimes I like to watch, when you watch a porn and shit, you like to see you see the long range, you see the Steph Currys. Like, I want a Steph Curry on the chick, you know what I'm saying? But I'm I'm motherfucking Metal Arc Lemon dribbling around.
Good thing I know about sports because I wouldn't get none of this if I didn't. None of our
But
women like that's so old. But go ahead.
Curly Neal. but, but yeah, man, first of all, I think you got to get checked though, man. Like, if you a dude, I can see like women like maybe confusing. I've never been a woman, so you correct me if I'm wrong. But I can see maybe women like confusing. Okay, I'm about to release an orgasm, but I accidentally release, some urine as well. Um, I've dealt with a couple of squirters, and I would say you're dealing with a squirter, man. You got to be prepared.
Hmm.
It's my first time dealing with a squirter. I thought I was prepared, but I listen, I was I was not prepared. Like, I'm like, girl, how much fucking water do you drink? Cause like it's 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 a mess. Like, it really is, it's a mess. It really is a mess.
I'm aware. I've been
You
around
gotta, you gotta
other.
put you're supposed to put like a bunch of towels down. And now they got like the thing with, like, I think they make it for people who have, like, extremely wet sex. I'll put it like that, where like there's a uh sort of like a cover that's underneath your sheets, like a pillow top or whatever. But
Mhm.
like the water doesn't, the liquid doesn't go through, because like in this particular situation, I was with a chick, and hey, listen, she was like Reggie Miller, Steph Curry, like shit, like her everywhere. Like, her jump shot was wet, and when it first hit me, I jumped, because I wasn't expecting it to come out with that type of, uh I wasn't expecting to come that hard at me, pause, you know what I'm saying? But it was a chick. But it's like, whoo. And I was like, I jumped. And she was like, she kind of felt like embarrassed because like a lot of women who squirt, they're somewhat self-conscious about it because there's some dudes who will, they'd be like, hey man, you make all this fucking mess and shit or what have you. But anyway, how we get to talk about chicks and squirt? But it's a mess, right? But I can see how women and I think it's pee adjacent. I don't think squirt is pee, but it's very close to pee. Cause like once it settles and you clean up and you get a whiff of it, it's pee adjacent if it's not pee. You know what I'm saying? Like it's close. There's a little whatever little reservoir that squirt come from. Like
Mhm.
it's got a little pee mixed in with it a little bit.
It does.
It's like it does. But
I
some
mean,
people say it's not.
right. And when I say I've heard the argument on both sides, I'm talking about professionals have said on both sides, yes, it is, no, it isn't, or there's a trace of it because of where it comes through. Like I've heard all of the arguments. So
Stephanie says, I agree with Tay. It's the toxic loud minority that's got these men afraid of these scenarios. Shout out to Stephanie. Um, yeah, and I guess it is, but who creates that toxic scenario though? Men or women, or is it equally both?
well, I mean, you hear it from if you're going by the scenario we were talking about, it would be those women, but it's still that small minority that's louder than the majority of people
So are
in
you
that situation.
are you of the mindset that as long as a man is doing it with a woman, it's not gay?
That is what I believe.
So pegging, does that make a man gay?
I don't think so. If he does, that
Hey, 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 hey.
that's one of those
It's,
gray
it's,
areas.
it's like I said when I said squirt is like pee adjacent. If you get pegged by a woman, you gay adjacent.
That's one of those gray areas. So I do think there are men who well, I won't say men. Let me put it this way. I do think there are people in this world who like sex so much that they don't care who it comes from. And they might not within themselves identify with being in the LGBTQ community. They still might view themselves as being heterosexual. I'm just saying what my thoughts are. So,
basically, what you're saying is there's those dudes who's like, hey, look, I'll try anything once.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
get my nut.
right. Now that type of man, I might say may have some tendencies. But if they truly desire it from a woman, I don't think that's gay.
See, for me, I'm like, if you allow a woman to peg you, then how are you? And I realize it's hypocritical, right? Because I used to be like, okay, if you let a woman peg you, then what's stopping you from letting the dude, run up in you? But theoretically, if you kiss a woman, you could kiss a man. So with that same mindset, you could be like, well, if you kiss a woman, what's stopping you from kissing a man? It's the same type of mindset. But I just feel as if there's some things that aren't meant for me to understand because I'm not wired that way and I'm not going to even try to understand it. And
Mm.
being pegged or having male on male sex is one of those things. So I can't even talk intelligently about it. I'm just going to say that, technically it does not make you gay, but you you sticking your pinky toe right up in there, my G. You know what I'm saying? Like it's close.
Maybe.
It's close. It's close. It's close. Would you peg a dude?
No, no, no. That's not
Also,
even
some
something.
women who have, and
Hmm.
I asked them like, So when you pegged the dude, did you take it easy on him? And every single one to a woman said, "Hell no, I wore his ass out." I'm like, damn, damn.
I mean, but in actuality, that's probably what he's looking for if he's asking for that. I would think, but I don't know. So,
I've seen like Pinky used to be infamous for using the strap,
hmm
like the strap she was using. Like I couldn't imagine a real guy being as big as the strap she was using, and she used to wear chicks out, and I couldn't. And I'm like, damn, like a dude taking that again, it ain't meant for me to understand. It ain't meant for me to understand. But some shit. But that's back to that being weaponized.
right.
If you a guy and you like that, I gotta feel like you have to like almost be like on certain, like we had Mr. C. We had Mr.
hmm
C on here, and she was talking about Fat Life. I gotta think that you really have to go on a site like that to find somebody where you could feel safe and get down with
Yeah,
somebody like that.
I can
You
see
can't
that.
just be you can't just be meeting a chick in a regular Facebook group and be like, hey, well, I like you to, put on a strap. And
Well, I would assume if you were not in a lifestyle group or website or social media site, that that conversation would come once you build up trust. Hopefully, that's not something you just spring on people.
Is that a deal breaker?
What do you mean? If a guy wanted that,
Yeah.
yeah, for me that's a deal breaker.
You
I
gonna you
have
gonna
no
break up?
interest in that.
Are you going to? So is it you are not going to do it, or are you going to break up with him?
If that is something he truly desires, and when I say truly desires, I mean it's something that he feels like he needs and has to have, that's a deal breaker for me.
You can't let him just get it from somebody else and come back.
No, not that. I don't even
See,
this sounds bad
you're
because I
you're
just
you're,
said that
you're
it's not
contributing to
gay.
you're contributing to the toxicity, Tay.
I look, I am fully aware of it. I was just about to say, I am the one who just said I do not think that's gay if he wants it from a woman. But for me, that is not something that I want a man that I'm with to want.
That's fair because I had a situation where a young lady told me that she wanted to be fisted, and I couldn't. I was like, nah, you're not for me. Now, hindsight 2020, I probably should have been like, well, let me try it. But at the time, I was just kind of like, because if you asking for it, there's a higher likelihood that you've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to deal with that. You taking the full fist.
That's a lot. But I mean, women, we snap back supposedly. So that's what they say. I mean, a baby comes through there and she snaps back. So a fist is not as big as a baby.
Is that so? What if a person wanted like a particular position? Is there any like particular position? Because we're talking about like certain acts, but what
hmm
a particular position? Is there any positions or anything like that you would be like, nah, I can't fool with you.
I don't think so. As long as it's something that I can get in without being physically hurt or something that would be comfortable. Like, in porn, you see a lot of positions that outside of porn, normal people are not doing those things. Like the one where you'll see a woman standing on one leg and then the guy has her leg bent. If she's not a gymnast or somebody who's extremely flexible, nobody's doing that.
That's not even something that I would even want to
Yeah, yeah,
try. That's not something I want to try.
yeah. Speaking of positions, I did find this article that had the top 6 sexual positions. This was based on sex therapists, what they feel are the top 6 sex positions.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna go from 6 to number 1. So
Okay.
number 6 is what they call the lotus flower.
The lotus
The
flower.
lotus flower is if a man is sitting kind of cross-legged and a woman sits on top of him with her legs wrapped around him.
That's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good
That's
one.
what they said was
Now,
number.
now, now, with that one though, I'm a big dude. With that one, you gotta have the right personnel.
Mm-hmm.
I think if both of y'all is like fit and trim, you good to go. But y'all can't be both fighting in the heavyweight division and do that. You know what I'm saying? You got it. You're gonna have to mix and match that one right there because two biggins ain't gonna work. Because see, the good thing about that particular
Mm-hmm.
position is, um, the guy can guide the woman into him. You know what I'm saying? So like, I would
Mm-hmm.
imagine I never had sex with a swing, but I would imagine it's sort of like that type of motion or what have you, and
Mm-hmm.
the way the way the penis is positioned, you're going to be right on that spot. So
Right.
like that particular position right there, like y'all, you could really do some good work with that right there.
Right. The article mentions that you're in the position for maximum friction and movement and closeness, which I know a lot of people attribute to missionary position. You're there with the eye contact. You can hug, you can kiss, because it's all right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but yeah, you definitely had to have the right personnel on that one though, because like BBW and a big dude that ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Now this next one, position number 5. It's a variation on missionary, but let me tell you how they named it. The coital alignment technique.
Coital alignment technique.
Yes. So pretty much it's just missionary, but you put a pillow up under the woman's hips
Yeah.
or whoever's on the bottom. So, that allows for the pelvis to be tilted in a way to where
Yep. And that's like if you look at some of those like I want to say the sex toy websites don't sell them, but there's certain sites that sell like furniture. Like what was the
Mhm.
one like, the one furniture that's like that, the couch or what have you that you know what I'm talking about. Like they had it
Yeah.
on the Fockers or whatever, but like they actually sell like a wedge and
Hmm.
it's a wedge and you slide it underneath and again it's positioning her to where the penis is hitting right on that spot. It's
Yep.
hitting that spot and you can just like I said, maximize the pleasure. Yeah. Yep, I'm down with that too. Yep.
Okay. Number 3, they don't call it doggy style. They call it the triple dog dare. Now, for real, I think normal people still consider this doggy style, but their variation of it is that I don't want to gender this. Whoever's in the front, they're not straight up on their arms. They're down on their forearms or, back fully arched.
They're on their forearms with their back fully arched.
I said or, so they're either like on their forearms like this, or they're
Flat.
yeah, they're flat.
So like I think somebody called it like the collapse doggy style.
No, no, not fully collapsed. When the booty's still in the air, you're still on your knees, but
Uh,
your arms are out, so your back is pretty much fully arched.
so like face down.
Yeah, yeah,
Got you.
yeah. Just a variation on doggy style.
Yeah, I mean, women like it. Some women like it.
Yeah.
There's some women who say they feel like, from the back is impersonal and they don't particularly care for it.
True. The article says that This position is good because when the woman arches her back, pretty much, it allows for better positioning for penetration. Or it doesn't say woman because, like I said, they're taking gender out of it. Whoever's in the front is. I mean, we're in 2024. We gotta be inclusive.
Do we? Yeah, we do. Okay, let me stop. I mean, we can be inclusive, but it's just not something that I do. So, but I know that a lot of women like when you pull their hair
It
back,
also mentions that.
because when you pull a hair, it helps our arch, and it gets that, again, you hitting that spot. So yeah.
hmm Okay, that was number 4. Number 3 is the supported straddle.
Okay.
So this is pretty much if the person who's doing the penetrating is sitting in a chair, it's kind of like the first one we talked about, and then the other person sits on top of them.
Yeah, I don't need it. I don't have to have it. You?
Um, that's to me. Well, actually, I do like that because being on top, a lot of times, if the guy is sitting up, it does feel a little bit better to me, for me. So,
It hits different.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And that's pretty much, if he's sitting in a chair, that's pretty much all that is.
I can
Same.
see that. I can see that.
Yeah. Number 2 is reverse cowgirl.
It's not one of my favorites. It's not one of my favorites. It's cool to do, but I feel like when you do reverse cowgirl, like it gets boring after it gets boring after a while. Like, I guess maybe I ain't mess with no chick who got like the big bubble or whatever, or I don't know. I've done it, but do y'all receive a lot of pleasure from that? Because I can say from a guy's perspective, it's just okay.
From my point of view, being on top ain't for y'all. It's for us.
Y'all on top, it's not for us.
Right, right.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So that's why you probably feel like it's boring.
No, okay. Well, hold on. There are times when y'all on top, and it does feel very good for us.
hmm
You know, if she's like super wet, she's into it, and like sometimes you can hear it, like that macaroni sound, like that right there, that can be very good. There's been very few women that have been able to like make me bust while they're on top, like very few, uh,
hmm
single digits. But so I get it. But obviously, because y'all can control placement or what have you, it's good for that. I would much rather you do that, I guess, regular face forward, because at least we can, like, follow your breast. We can see you, we can talk to you, see your face. Reverse cowgirl is somewhat of an awkward position because like your legs is on top of her legs and she's scooting back, at least the way I imagine it or the way I've done it. And like I said, it just kind of gets old to me. But that's just me. That's just Marv. Ain't got nobody young. You like it? That's number 2 for you. Number two is good.
Uh,
Number 2 is a good placement for you.
you know what? I don't. This is not one of the positions I go to. Even, I mean, if I get on top, matter of fact, it's been years, probably over a decade since I've done reverse cowgirl.
Yeah,
I
it
just
ain't
it's
it
not
ain't
something I
you
think
being.
about
Yeah,
because if I'm on top, I'm going to be facing my partner.
yeah. It ain't. I think that's one of them positions that are better on porn
hmm
than in real life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the number one position that these sex therapists say is the best is spooning.
No, not for me. No, no.
Oh gosh.
Mark B got a gut, so that one right there, I can't really get, I can't get maximum into that one. So nah, maybe regular folks, skinny minis, whatever, that might be the thing, but Not for me. No.
Yeah, it says this position allows for great combination of closeness and access.
You
This is
like
not,
it?
huh?
Like it?
No, that's never been one of mine. Matter of fact, I feel like it's awkward, even if the guy doesn't have a gut. That's not something that I found pleasure in.
Yeah, because I've done it before, and like I think, I guess sometimes it depends on how well the woman likes you. Like they say, like my dick is as big as a woman who likes me.
Mhm.
If she like me, it's bigger than what it really is.
Oh gosh.
So I've done it, and like she's like, yeah, yeah, I got a good response out of it. But as you get older and body types change or what have you. I mean, I've tried it recently, what I'm saying you can pull it off, but it's not one of them things like I definitely ain't gotta have it. And I never really have. I think when you're younger, you just trying shit because like you see porn or whatever, and you want to like, oh man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Then you just realize like, okay, so why are we doing this?
Hmm.
Point of us doing this for both of us to enjoy it and receive maximum pleasure. And for me, that's what it's about. Now, I'm gonna call you out. I call you out, but you and I kind of had somewhat of a disagreement about this offline a couple weeks ago when we were talking about putting your best foot forward.
Hmm.
Everybody you sleep with, you remember that?
Yes.
And my thing was, what's the point if you're not trying to have maximum pleasure all the time? Because if I'm not trying to fully enjoy it all the time, I might as well just jack off and go to sleep.
Just because I may not be giving my every single thing that's in my arsenal does not mean that it's not extremely enjoyable. It just means I got a few tricks up my sleeve that can be pulled out at a later date.
Okay, so I think that's where the disconnect is. So when you say I'm not giving it my all, when you say I'm not pulling out all my tricks, that's different. I hear that different than I'm not 100% like into it. I'm not giving it.
What I said, not giving your A game. That's what I said. But I can see how the phrasing would
You see, and that's why I was
yeah.
kind of what's the point? Like if you ain't gonna like really be into it, who wants to fucking do that?
Right. But then there's also a thing of if you're giving somebody every single thing you have, then what do you have to look forward to? If this is somebody that you're going to be with for a long time, and in the way my relationships have gone, I haven't always known that this person was going to be around, you know? So I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, that makes more sense. Now that makes more sense. But I don't think us as guys can really hold back. Like we can't hold back. No. Like we got to give our A game every time, especially in the early stages.
Maybe.
What you mean?
I
What you now
don't
you know
know
on
because
this show
I've
that
heard guys say that too, that you don't give everybody your A game because, like I said, you create stalkers.
okay, so there's the difference, right? So I think
Hmm.
it's good that we talking this out because we understanding each other better. My boy always told me you can't deep stroke and tongue kiss him in the mouth at the same time, right? Because that brings out like a lot of feelings. We've already discussed on the show, and with conversations recently I've had with a bunch of friends of mine, I come to realize that I am slightly fucking toxic because I'm doing that shit, right? And then I'm gonna be like, all right, friend, I'll see you later. But now I am gonna call you out on this. You were the woman that said if it wasn't good the first time, wasn't no second shot. Back in
But
the day,
again,
back in the day, right? You just I'm not putting words in your mouth. You said
right,
that.
there's a
So
difference
that
between
so that means a
good.
guy cannot come half stepping with a woman like you. He has to bring the wood. He has to.
you have to know what my definition of good is. My definition of not being, let me say, my definition of not being good is he don't last no time and his stroke game is weak. That has nothing to do with you. You can have a great stroke game and still not give somebody your all. That's why I say there's a difference between giving somebody bad sex and still holding back and giving them a great experience. There's a difference. So you can't catch me like you trying to catch me in a lie or being hypocritical. No, my vision is
to
to
catch you in the lie. I'm just saying that you can't have that both ways, though. You can't say that it's acceptable for somebody to hold back and not give their best when, but now that you've explained it and you said, if you give me a bad experience, there's no coming back, right? But that doesn't mean you have to give like A plus, 5-star experience on the first go. It just can't be bad.
Exactly.
Understood. See, that's why we talk these things out. That's why we conversate. I mean, me personally, yeah, I didn't short stroke, 1 or 2 chicks. I didn't have a situation where I was kind of like, yeah, they gonna kill me in the group chat, because in some situations you just like, sometimes it just ain't your night. Maybe for women, y'all don't have to deal with that, but I think for guys, there's a lot more pressure. There's a lot more pressure on us, right? You gotta maintain your wood. You gotta be able to stroke. You gotta learn her body, right? I feel it's more incumbent on us to have to learn you than it is for y'all to learn us. Now,
I think it's
a
been
good
more
woman,
acceptable. I don't necessarily think it's a good thing though.
agree. A good woman wants to learn you, right? She wants to be able, like, I want to please you just like you please me. But I feel as if there's been a standard set that it's all on the man. It's all on the man to be able to control the situation. And I always thought that was bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, dog, like I was with her, man, and she didn't really she wasn't really that good, man. She was just laying there like a dead bug, and she wasn't really making no sound or none of that. And then a lot of women say, well, you just didn't bring it out of her. Well, I mean, goddamn, I got to be responsible for what the fuck you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, if I'm just bad, but if 7 out of 8 are feeling me, right? It can't be that big of a disconnect in what we like. There may be some people just like, nah, I just ain't feeling you. Like you don't hit right, our bodies don't align. I don't like, what you do. But is it to put all that pressure on men, I think it's counterproductive.
But it goes back to communication. Just like women, if we don't like something, we need to speak up. Same with y'all. If y'all don't like something, instead of saying, oh, she's thinking in your head, she wasn't feeling it, she wasn't doing it, maybe talk to her. And I know everybody's egos, men and women, get involved, and it's hard to tell people the truth, and it's hard to have these conversations. But in order to have the sex life that you want, that's going to satisfy you, or that's going to satisfy both of you, you need to have those conversations.
You're right. I think that's one of those things that's easier said than done for men. Speaking,
I think once you do it and get the first one over with, it gets easier. Especially when you hear a lot of women talk about how fragile men's egos are. And when you try to broach those subjects.
That's bullshit too, though.
Oh,
Hey, here's the thing. Yes, the male ego is fragile. And I would agree that we act out more than you all do. But to say that women are less sensitive, less emotional than men, I feel like that's become something that's cliche to say
But
because
I
for
didn't really
so
say
for
that.
every but for every dude that like has a potential to get violent or get his feelings hurt or act stupid because a woman told him that, she didn't like what he did or didn't wasn't really feeling what he was coming with. There's chicks out here who's busting out windows and acting crazy and shit. I think, and I hate to be like this, what is it? All lives matter to shit, but I feel like just people in general.
Which is why I said both people have egos. I started off saying,
Yeah, but you
because
said
you
the
know
male
I'm
ego is
all
fragile.
about both genders do, because it is. You didn't let me finish. What I was saying is, if we're still, even with the stereotype that men's egos are fragile, we're still expected to say, I don't like this. Can you do this? This pleases me. This doesn't. If we have to contend with that, y'all have to do the same thing. It goes both ways. Communication is key to effective communication, is key to everything.
Don't disagree. I think that I learned the most from a woman. I was trying to do like the cookie cutter. I was young. I was trying to do the cookie cutter. Like I did this with, the first girl I tried this with. I'm gonna do the same thing with her. And in the middle of it, she was just like, do it like this. And I did it like that, and I got the response. And as I got older, I learned, okay, let me read the body. And sometimes I just like ask, like, what do you like? Um, I'll say as guys, some guys just aren't, we aren't taught this. Like the conversations we're having now, unfortunately, we're having them at an age where it's a good chance, dude, dick don't work. It's a good chance she don't get wet like she used to because she done gone through the change. Like these are conversations that we probably should be having when we're younger and we're actually, in the throes of doing all these things. Because as guys, it's not until later on for a lot of us, I feel, as long as I'm banging out, as long as I'm just pounding, I'm able to bring the wood, then I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. And we don't ask those questions. We don't even think to ask that question. We more so just being like, well, let me find this other chick that can do something, or she just can't take it, or we talk shit about the chick that we with or that we've been with, instead of trying to like have that effective communication like you talked about.
Mhm.
But I don't see many of the guys that I've known throughout the years be equipped to be able to have that conversation. I just don't think that they do. I don't.
Neither are women. I mean, but you have to, it's one of those trial by fire things. You learn by doing.
And they need to watch this motherfucking podcast, and that way, what I'm saying, they can learn, right? All right, you got a nasty or normal or
No, I figured that since we talked about what the therapists say are their top positions, we can end the show with what are our top 5 positions for each of us, and then we'll end it that way.
top five positions. Okay, you have to put them in order.
No, because I don't know.
Okay.
My orders change.
I haven't done it in a while because I haven't had a spinner in a while. But I'm gonna put that Lotus, what they call it, the Lotus bomb, whatever.
Mhm.
Put that up there. That's a good one. Um, Definitely the one. Okay, so when you talked about sitting in the chair and having her on top,
Mhm.
can that be the same as like being on the couch?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that one's cool, especially if she's able to do it feet flat. You do it feet flat, at this age, ladies got them trick knees and shit, what I'm saying? A lot of them can't go feet flat. But if you got to be able to go feet flat to really say to me, to be good. Do y'all care about if y'all good at riding dick or not?
Again,
Is that a badge of honor?
again, for me, how I think about it, it's for us, not for y'all. So it's because of what we get out of it, that position is more for us than y'all.
So
So when I'm up there, I don't even think about y'all, but I've never had any complaints.
y'all don't care if they say, "Oh, she could ride dick good." Y'all don't care nothing about that.
I can't speak for y'all. I can only speak for me. I don't care.
Okay. If you want dudes to say that you can ride dick good, you got to be able to do it with your feet flat. I'm gonna put it out there. Okay. So that right there. Um, I'm a missionary guy. So like the different variations of missionary, I'm gonna put up there. Doggy style is cool. I think doggy style is cool, especially if you able like she's into getting her hair pulled, and you can kind of go through that. But honestly, um, I probably only have four, and I would say that missionary is the one and variations of that, especially like if you put it like all the way in the butt, like feet on your shoulders, because I'm a talker too, and that way you can kind of have that intimacy and you can talk and really you know, build up the passion that way. So I only got four today. I ain't got five.
Okay. Let me see. I've never even numbered mine. I just know what my tops are. And my favorites change depending on the guy, because I've learned over the years that how people are shaped, their bodies are shaped, the genitals are shaped. It feels different with different people. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, my top five, I should say overall. Me on top. And this is why it's better for women, because of most women do not orgasm vaginally. So for the clitoris, I guess we can say that on the
Somebody put in the chat unless they fucking Marv, but go ahead.
It depends on the woman. Because the majority of women don't. But well, I should say don't. The majority of women haven't. So that's better for the being on woman being on top is better for the clitoris, because she can she can maneuver, she can change her body to fit that. So that's one. Two, I actually like doggy style. Especially when the back is completely arched, like the article says, the positioning makes for great penetration. Missionary is a great one. That's actually probably my number one, and I'll add in all of the variations with the pillow underneath, the legs on the shoulders, off the side of the bed with off the corner of the bed. Yeah, all of those. And the scissor one. It's not just with women, it's with the guy too. Like if a woman is laying down and the guy is like this, I have great memories of that position.
See, you scissor with a dude?
Yeah, because that's great. That's maximum penetration right there. That's maximum access
And
right there.
y'all just like scooting into each other?
The penis is going into the vagina. That's actually great. See how my fingers are locked in like this? That's highest to me. That's the greatest position ever.
Okay.
I mean, it's called scissoring. It's called scissoring when it's in lesbian sex or whatever. I don't believe that's the name of it with a guy, but I don't know the name. I don't know names of positions. Okay. But it is not. It's not a gay position. I feel like that's what were you trying to go with that?
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's gay.
Okay.
I don't believe it's gay. No, because again, you're doing it with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Not gay. It's just for me. For me. There's certain things that I don't want to do because I feel like I feel like a bitch if I did that shit. And that
But the man is in control. It's just like it's missionary, but her leg is over. I mean, I don't understand.
But the fact that position typically is two women scissoring and shit, I'm like, it's sort of like it's okay if I'm fucking you and you damn.
You must not have done it before. That's why
No, I've never done it. No, I've never done it.
That's why you're thinking of it that way.
And that's why I'm saying let me finish. That's what I'm
Okay, go ahead.
saying. I'm having a hard time conceptualizing it, and I need to see it. And I was going to ask you if you could find, you know, like they got like that, those little pictures where they have like the purple person and the yellow person.
Mm-hmm.
If you can find it and send it to me so I could conceptualize it, I may think of it differently. But right now, all I can think of is like seeing two women doing it. And it's sort of like if I'm fucking you and you like play with my nipples, that's cool. But like sucking on my nipples, I feel like that's what dudes do to chicks. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, nah, I'm not a bitch.
There are
Like,
so
look,
many men who get off on that.
and that's fine. I'm not one of them. Okay, so scissoring, then what's your fifth one?
Look, Stephanie, it's actually really common with heterosexual couples.
What's common? What's
That
common?
that position I'm talking about.
The scissor?
Yes.
Okay. Well, can we call it something different? Can we call it something different than the scissor? Because like scissor makes like some lesbian shit, and I'm not
Oh gosh.
I'm all man, Tay.
If you like do your fingers like this.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
I
Just
see
say
it.
it.
I'm
Feel how that's
still
locked in right there. That is maximum penetration. That's what I'm saying.
okay. I trust you. All right. Hey, if anybody in the chat wants to, like show your boy, like in person,
Oh gosh, here you go.
email CVAD the podcast at gmail.com and we can arrange that. But go ahead, Tay. What's your fifth one? Because this is going down bad. What's your fifth?
You know what? I don't think I have a fifth one. I think my fifth one are like all the different variations of missionary. I think that's yeah. If I
Okay.
develop those,
Shout out to Stephanie. She posted it. She posted it. Hold on, let me see what it say. Nah, I can't go there. I was trying to see the she posted the link.
mhm.
It's called what's it called? The flagpole? That don't in that position. Can you click the link, Tay?
No, I can't. Look at
Let me see if I can. I'm gonna I'll cut this out. I'm gonna text it to you. Hold on. This right here, this ain't what this seems more like a variation of like missionary.
and that's what one of the things I said was if you yeah, that's it. That's one of the things I said is that if you're in missionary and you just bring the woman's leg up. I said that too. You must ain't hear that part. Yeah, that picture, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. And see, and that's why. Okay, so she sent another one. Let me send this to you. See, to me, like I've heard of people say like they really love that position, right?
Mhm.
And I've done that. I've done it. You know what I mean? I haven't done it a lot. You see the second one?
Yeah.
I was the way I was envisioning it was like when you see lesbians in porn and they're both laying on their side and they kind of like that's why I said y'all just scooting like into
Well,
each
the
other.
second picture is like that. Well, the woman's on her back, but it's similar. It's still similar. It's still the same motion.
I'm
Whether
looking
you
at
with a man or a woman, it's still that same
I get
legs
but
interlocked like that.
do you see what how I'm seeing it though?
Yes, but I don't understand why you think there's such a difference.
Because like y'all both laying on y'all side and y'all like just like scooting this shit. Nah, I don't know. Hey, y'all call me lame, call me vanilla. I don't give a fuck. I just don't see it. Now these other two, yes. Okay. All right. All right. All right, Tay, go and tell them where they can find us because I can tell I'm getting on your nerves.
You can find us at CVA. Oh, sorry. Hold on. You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD the podcast at gmail.com. Make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe. And leave us a comment.
That's right. Go to our website, CVAD the podcast. What I say, go to our website. This went bad. Go to our website, conversateafterdark.com. Make sure you hit the sub like Tay said, and do not ask me to censor. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Bye.